Hi, and thank you for watching. On today's show,
we're going to show you how to hook up a front and rear camera on the new NEX Pioneer radios, so stay tuned. So one of the cool features about putting a screen in your dash is the ability to add a backup camera to it. And with the new NEX radios, as well as the old ones, you can also hook up a front-facing camera too. So what we thought we'd do today is explain to you how to do that, walk you through all the paces, and hopefully answer all the questions you might have. So the first things first, we have the back of the radio here.
Okay.
So let's talk about where the cameras are going to get plugged in. So the front-facing camera is going to get hooked up to the yellow wire dangling off the back that says video input. Now this is selectable in the menu as either a video input or the front camera input. Alright, now over here you have this brown RCA right here. This brown RCA is for the rear facing camera. So we're going to utilize those two when we're talking about front camera, rear camera. Okay, so let's talk about wiring the camera in before we actually get to this. So the camera is going to come with the camera, an RCA, and a power and a ground. Now a lot of people ask the question, what do I hook these two wires up to? Or they'll ask, how come I can't get my camera to turn on when it's in other than when it's in reverse? Well, okay, so what you want to do is the red wire needs to go forward to the red wire behind the radio. It's going to tee in. The red wire behind the radio is an accessory wire. It powers up the radio when you turn on the key. You want to do the same thing for the camera. So you want to power up the camera when you turn on the key. So you're going to tie it into that wire. The ground wire is a ground wire. We typically run them forward just so we don't have any noise issues. If you want to ground it in the back, that's entirely up to you. The third wire that isn't here is the reverse wire. And this is where a lot of you guys get confused. You'll hook the red wire up to the reverse light wire and have the reverse light wire power up the camera. For one thing, that's bad because it's only made to power that bulb, not power up the camera. And some of these newer cars, you can do some serious damage. What you want to do is tap into the reverse wire and run it to the back of the radio. On the back of the radio, there's a purple wire with a white stripe. That purple wire with a white stripe is the reverse light input. Okay, so when you put your car in reverse, sends 12 volts to that wire, tells this to switch over. So for example, go ahead and tie that in. So we're going to simulate it. We're going to tap the purple white wire to constant 12 volts, and then our camera here is going to turn on. As you can see, you can turn it off. That would be the backup image of what you're trying to do. Now, what you can also do with these radio is, other than put it in reverse, the reason why you want to hook it up this way is so that you can have the image on in something other than reverse. And all the time. And these will do that. Let's demo that. So if you come into your settings and come down to the tools, go to camera settings. This is where everything camera related is at. This top thing right here says camera view. If you turn that on and then X out, if you don't touch any of the screen for 10 seconds, the camera will automatically turn on. There you go. So here's the camera. Hey, look at me. Hey, there's Fernando. Okay, now you have two options. This one here and this one here. If you want to shut this feature down permanently, you can go ahead and click the X. If you just want to go back to touching the radio, like adjust a preset or something like that, hit this. You can go back. You can come over here and you can do something with a source. Now, 10 seconds from here, it'll go ahead and switch back to the camera view. Boom, there you go. Now if you hit the X, that'll go ahead and turn it off till you turn it back on again, in which case you got to go gears, camera settings. Now, this is where the star comes in handy. You can highlight it as a star, and now when you're in there, you can just come in and go here, star, camera view on. Okay? That way you don't have to dig through all those menus. Now, one other cool feature that the rear view cameras have in this is the ability to add lines. Like this camera here, this is an Alpine camera. It doesn't have lines built into it. Those are those cool backup lines. Pioneer gives you the ability to turn those on and adjust them customly. That's a neat word.
Wow.
Let's show you that. Come back in here, go to Tools, Camera, scroll. You have Parking Assist Guide. We're going to turn them on. parking assist just. So here you go. So you can take your finger, grab one of these corners, move this thing around here, do this, do that. And then if you need to do some fine tuning, you can do this. Okay. Now when you get it all set up, go ahead and hit X. Now go ahead and put it in reverse for me. So now when you back up, you'll have your cool guidelines to show you what you're doing. So that is the basic installation and principles. Basic principles of installation, as well as the things you can do with a backup camera on the NEX. Now, like we said at the beginning, you could do a front-facing camera.
Front-facing camera.
So we're going to go ahead and show you how to do that. Now this, the rear view is hooked up to the gray. I'm sorry.
It's brown.
The rear view is hooked up to the brown.
Mm-hmm.
The front view is going to be hooked up to that yellow. So let's go ahead and show you that. Okay, so once you have your front-facing camera installed, what you want to do is come over here, hit Gears, hit Tools, hit Camera Settings. Come down here where it says Second Camera Input, turn it on. Then scroll up to where it says Second Camera Reverse Video. You may need to turn this on. If you're using a reverse camera for your front camera, the image is going to be backwards. So you want to turn this on so that your left is left and your right is right. Otherwise, it could be left is right and right is left and get all confusing. Now, how do you see the camera? How do you get it to come up? Well, that's going to go back to that camera view. That's why we made that a fast key. We're going to go ahead and turn that on, X out of here, and we're going to wait that 10 seconds. Okay, so now we're looking at the front camera here. Hey, here's the front camera. And then we'll hit this little icon right here, and we'll be looking at the back camera. And we can swap between those two. Yay! And then we can do the same thing. We can tap this, and we can go in and do what we want. And then 10 seconds later, it'll flip back. And there you go. That is how you hook up, program, and do all the fun things for a front and rear camera on a new NEX radio. How fun is that, right? Yeah. Well, you guys wanted to know. Well, we get asked enough anyway, so we're assuming you wanted to know. If you have any questions about what I just told you, please feel free to ask us. We love answering your questions, sincerely. You know, go ahead and wrap it up.
So thank you for watching. You guys can find us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram.
And I said the question bit, so we're just going to go with if you like it, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. You guys have a good night. See you later. Bye.